How much torture actually took place in the Tower of London? So first off, even at its height in the 16th century, torture was never officially enshrined in the legal system. There was no blanket rule saying, oh, if you're a guard at the Tower, you're allowed to just torture whoever. Instead, each individual instance of torture had to be personally approved by the Privy Council, the official advisors to the monarch. Having said that, between 1540 and 1640, there were 48 sanctioned cases of torture at the Tower. Out of those 48, some of them were arrested for really big crimes like sedition or treason, but some of them were just horse thieves. Another common misconception is that they would have used all these fancy weird devices like Iron Maidens and spiky chairs. They didn't need any of that. The most common torture device was something called the rack, which they tie your hands and feet to and then pull them in opposite directions. This can dislocate all the joints in your arms and legs. The second most common torture method was just hanging you up by your wrists. It sounds pretty tame compared to an Iron Maiden, but there were people who could never write again after this was done to them. Torture is also never used as a punishment in and of itself. It's always used to get information, usually information about co-conspirators. And of course, a lot of the ordinary ways prisoners were kept would be classed as torture by us today, things like solitary confinement and sensory deprivation. Part of the reason we know so much about torture at the Tower is because one or two incredibly brave people actually wrote accounts about what it was like. People like Anne Askew, who was so badly injured on the rack that when they burned her at the stake, they had to burn her sitting down because she couldn't stand.